Season's greetings, everybody on the internet. How's it going? Since my birthday is almost here, in about 11 days now, I haven't done any movie reviews in such a long time. Plus, I'm getting kind of bored of playing in the Kirby game and Hal Point off screen that I keep on fighting the same enemies over and over again. Gets boring after a while. But I finally got to defeat a new enemy in the Kirby game. But blah 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 blah. Now let's get to the point. As you can see here, I don't usually talk about most kids' movies these days. The last one I did was SpongeBob SquarePants. And it's kind of been a long time since I talked about one of the SpongeBob movies. I think the last one I did is Sponge Out Water, which is right there. Without showing too much of the scene of the movie, I rewatched it again just to make sure what I was into. I got the movie from the red box.
I'll never forget the day we met. Hello, little snail. What's your name?
There's a certain point why this movie exists in light CGI now. It's no longer 2D anymore. Sadly, the actor, or should I say director, who did the show of SpongeBob, sadly kicked the bucket. And a long time ago, in 2015 or 16, the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants. That first started in 1999, and we had to celebrate the 25th anniversary. Meaning that this movie exists to show a cat, Carl, from its own mini spin-off.
Me too. Gary, I'm home. Gary?
And this movie is about
Gary.
Pismas and Pet, based off the TV show. And that was not in the movie trailer. I mean, movie.
We've got to go help them.
In the all-new SpongeBob movie.
This is gonna be like one of those bloody movies.
Plus, this came out 3 years ago.
You're fired.
Danny Trejo, Snoop Dogg,
Yep, has famous stars in it.
and Keanu Reeves.
Call me Sage. Good name. I'm made out of sage and I am the sage.
Yep, Keanu Reeves is in it too. But you best know him from Bill and Ted or the John Wick movies, which I'll probably never talk about.
It works out pretty well.
See how the game all met.
You're a hoot, little dude.
And experience SpongeBob's biggest adventure. Rent it from these days.
Not to mention this movie is already released on DVD and Blu-ray. And rented everywhere. At the library too. Anyways, Sponge on the Run is about what else? SpongeBob rescuing Gary from a new villain called Poseidon. Without giving too much away, though, you have to watch the movie for yourself. The only good question is this movie good? Well, the animation is passable. Some people love it, some people hate it. This movie is kind of alright at most parts. There are like a few humor stuff in it. The film does show like a bit of a backstory how they first met as kids. Our beloved heroes.
This man broke the law.
let's talk about their past as when they were kids. At SpongeBob first met Patrick, Big Star, Sandy Cheek, how she became a scientist, no karate. Most likely Squidward that can't stand the both of them on how annoying and he is, and yet he still loves him, and how Mr. Krabs made business money. And here's the main villain, Poseidon himself. I will not show too many clips of the movie, but the film is okay. It's like meant for little kids. It's not like the best film you would like to watch over and over again. You could probably watch it a few more times. Yeah, I'll skip that part. It's kind of like based off, you know, classic episodes of the SpongeBob series that you've seen many times before.
SpongeBob's biggest adventure ever.
It does have like a few laughs in it. It's just like a big, huge adventure for SpongeBob and Patrick when they encounter strange things. Like another villain that only appeared in one film, named Diablo himself, which is a live-action person, and they think it's all a dream. And they had to listen to the Bush guy, like Keanu Reeves, thinking it was all a dream, but it's real. What else can I say about the movie? It seemed alright. Beat for a while at most parts. I find this movie to be on the okay side. People would like this film if it's meant for little children. It's only like 91 minutes of great character designs. They still act like they're actual sounds from the TV show. Mikey Shenanigans and Adventure. I mean, Plankton still comes out of an evil scheme to get the Krabby Patty formula by kidnapping Gary just use a snail slime to make King Poseidon look younger again. It's just one of those classic TV shows that you've seen in most SpongeBob episodes. You've seen many times before, but yeah, it's kind of like that. If you like to enjoy the old classic SpongeBob cartoons or the old 2004 movie that came out 20 years ago, well, it's kind of hard to decide which one is slightly better. You might like the Sponge Out of Water better than the third of the franchise. I mean, Sponge Out of Water took like a half hour into the film for them to finally become CGI. I just shown way too much of it. It just seemed a little bit off sketch at most parts. It just takes a very long time to get to the point of the movie's plot convenient. It has like great Clone Star actors. Like Sandy Cheeks' robot named Otto, voiced by the same actor who was in Raya and the Last Dragon movie. It does have like some good humor in it. Still has interesting characters, including Karen herself, still being her usual self. It does have to play some old songs for no apparent reason, because they like to do old nostalgia soundtracks. They've been reused way too many times in most movies. But since I talked about like both SpongeBob movies so far, I'm like, yeah, might as well talk about the third one of the franchise. That most movies that become 2D is he is no longer around anymore. It becomes all 3D model. Well, like how it is nowadays, that everything is all CGI effect. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Well, some can look half as good at times. Sometimes it's not good. Not that this movie is not horribly bad. I mean, the animation looks pretty good. I do like the opening settings of fishy creatures that look realistic, and then cut the characters what they always look like since the old cartoon show since 1999 look like their actual selves. It just seems most likely passable, and most likely, what's the word for it?
Oh, nonsense.
It existed for a reason because of money. It just depends on what your favorite parts from the SpongeBob movie franchise are.
It was easy once I found
And I
the
can't
parts.
skip there. You have to skip that part. It kind of depends on knowing in that this movie is not a super great. It's seen okay and alright. Some people will find this one a rather huge disappointment at the movie series. It's not as good as the original SpongeBob movie that came out in 2004, or that other one, and Sponge Out Water, that has better animation compared to this movie. Not that there's anything terrible about this film. Some people find this like a huge letdown, the series. You either laugh at it or you've seen this movie cliche countless times that, and the main hero will blame the sidekick from something and that they done stupidly well done, and in most parts that been done so many times it gets tiresome after a while. It just depends on knowing if you think this movie was passable or not. It just feels like this movie didn't need to exist, but it had to because it's of money. I mean, if they're gonna do more of these, they can at least end the series by giving SpongeBob a license to drive. Even finally get married. Even live happily ever after, but it never ends with the series. So, yeah, it's kind of, reason why that most movies like this exist because of Moolah. Not that I don't hate the movie, apparently, it just,
It's tomorrow.
their thing to pay the voice actor that played SpongeBob for a very long time, and the same actor that played Patrick Eisenberg. Warren that played Plankton still does a pretty good job. It didn't need to be like a musical number, but it was a thing. Plus, I like the song called The Secret Formula Is You. It's one of the best parts of the film, so yeah, there's that. So, is this movie really that bad or really good? It just depends. It's on noticing the characters are still likable to this very day. You'll probably like this film as a child and proven the characters as they were back then. I'm still waiting for, Nostalgia Critic, aka Doug Walker, to talk about on the second SpongeBob movie. Sponge on the out of water, and Sponge on the run. So you'll find this movie on the slightly okay part. So it's kind of meh part. I mean, they're still likable. There's nothing wrong for this movie to be that dreadful. It seemed like it didn't need to exist it at all. So, hopefully, I talk about a movie that's worth talking about that's based off the series. There's been way too many films based off the series. But someday I'll talk about a better movie in the future. But that'll be saved for another time. And you won't know what it is. You might know this when I'm about to type down. Will probably be a thing in the future. But there's only will be for another time. Once I rewatch it once again. So I give SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run, the movie, a quite passable 6 out of 10. Hold on a second. So in the future, I'll talk about this one too very, very soon. So yeah, I don't usually talk about movies based off children's TV shows, but there's always another time. Thank you all for watching. And someday in the future, there'll probably be better movies worth talking about. Like this one, for example. Goodbye for now.